So here it is. The question is, why don't hymns sound good on the guitar? Well, they do. You're just not playing them right. But seriously, we've all experienced this where we're at home or at grandma's house with a piano and friends and family are standing around. Hymnals are cracked open and we're all singing our parts and it sounds great. Okay? And then you say, hey, let's go to the local nursing home and sing for some old folks, some of our seniors. It'll be great. And somebody says, yeah, I'll bring my guitar. Yes, bring your guitar. It'll be wonderful. And then you're at the nursing home with the seniors and you start singing the hymn and the guitar guy starts playing the guitar and it doesn't work. His guitar is kind of ruining it. It's like, I can't sing my part anymore. The hymn is way too high or it's way too low. And my alto part that I work so hard on doesn't fit anymore with whatever he's doing on the guitar. And I hate this. It's terrible. Why don't hymns sound good on the guitar? And so that's why you're here today. You're wondering what's going on. So let me tell you. What's happening is the guitar, sitting there with the guitar strumming. It's a very different feel than when someone is sitting at an organ in a cathedral in England. So hymns came out during a very different time. And we typically, hymns are typically 4 parts. We call them a 4-part chorale. Bach pretty much solidified this from, if I remember my music history class, Bach solidified this and was sort of the pinnacle of this 4-part chorale sound. Your basses, your tenors, your altos, your sopranos. And you have your 4-part, your melodies with the sopranos, your tenors, your basses, altos. And then every single note, if I was going to sing something like, oh, worship the King, all glorious above. Every single note has a different chord. Every single voice is singing a different note for every single syllable. Oh, worship the King, oh, worship the King. That's 5 different chords. So chord number 1 would be, if we were singing in the key of, oh goodness, let's call it key of G. Maybe it's F, but I'll do G. So, oh, a D chord, worship. So the worship, so the O is a D, O, and then is a G. Worship, ship is a G with a B underneath it. Ship, the is a D7. The King is another G chord. So we've already had, oh, worship the King is 5 different chords. A lot of G's, yes. But you could even go further. It might even be, I'm not looking at a hymnal, but it might even be D7, oh, worship the King. Do you see how many chords I just did on the guitar? You could even add another chord in there. So the hymnal that you cracked open with grandma and sang with the cousins around the piano has literally a billion chord changes. And that actually works really well with human voices who are sitting around singing in that way. But when you grab the guitar, everything changes. The guitar is an instrument, if you're playing it like this, oh, worship the King, all glorious above, then we're fine. But most people don't play like that these days. People don't play left leg. People play right leg guitar. Right leg guitar looks like this. That's right leg guitar. And so most people are not playing in this classical way. So what that means is decide, I'm going to jump straight to application here. Okay, decide if you want to sound like piano, choir, hymn, or if you want to sound like folk music, folk or rock. The guitar has to decide what it's going to be doing. Okay, are you left leg classical? Or your right leg folk rock? So, "Oh, Worship the King," that famous old hymn, on a rock guitar or a folk guitar would get rid of most of the chord changes. That's why you can't harmonize with it anymore if you're used to singing through a hymnal, because most of the chords are out the door, and the way that you view harmony completely changes. You're just following the melody in a more simplistic way, centered around usually the pentatonic scale. So listen. If I do "O Worship the King" now in the key of G, which is I think close to the classical hymnal key, it now becomes too high for most modern females. Most modern female singers are not wanting, and males, are not comfortable singing in this head voice sound. So, if we were to keep it in the key of G, "Oh, worship the King, all glorious above." That's more of a tenor sound for a worship leader guy who's singing all by himself because none of the guys want to join him. It's too high. Same with the females. So typically what you then do is say, okay, I'm now doing an acoustic version. I'm going to bring it down. I got to bring it down. Okay, key of E. I went from G down to E. Oh, worship the King, all glorious above. Now this is more talking. You see, I'm more in talking range. This is typically what folk hymn singing does. It strips away most of the chord changes, so all your harmonies aren't going to work anymore. And it brings the key down to a more talky range, which is what I'm talking in right now. Oh, worship the King, all glorious above. You see, it's my talking range, key of E. And instead of having chord changes every single note, I'm now holding chords longer and singing my melody over these held chords. So watch the chords change and watch my voice. Oh, worship the King, all glorious above. I've only had 3 chords there. The E, worship the King. The didn't technically fit with the E, but folk music and rock music don't care, all right? We're rebelling against the establishment. Remember that. Worship the King, all glorious above. And I would argue that some of the good songwriters actually are going further, and they would do this. Oh, worship the King, all glorious above. And you see, now I've contemporized it even more. I'm trying something new where I'm not changing the chord at all. I'm letting my voice, my melody, create what's called tension or suspensions within the chord. By not changing my chord, the melody is creating something interesting, arguably. I'm not against this modernizing of hymns on the guitar, by the way, even though I do joke about it. Oh, worship the King, oh, glorious above, and gratefully sing his power and his love. Right? Oh, interesting. That's not bad. Now the band can really groove. They don't have to worry about chord changes anymore. Everyone's singing. It sounds kind of cool. The harmony would just be sitting on like a B or something. Whatever. But it's a totally different vibe, and when you're trying to harmonize with this style of playing, you have to just listen to the melody more and follow the melody more in what we call a diatonic way. Oh, worship the King, all glorious above. I'm just finding notes that kind of work well with less chord changes. So I guess what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, if you're a big hymnal reader type of person, kind of glued to watching the notes, the note heads change on the grand staff in a hymnal, if you're going to sing folk, you got to throw that hymnal out, and you have to just listen and find cool sounding Appalachian, shape note singing feeling harmonies that work with it, and you have to sing from your instincts and your gut, which I think is a good thing. I think there's benefits to both sides of the equation. So that's why guitar doesn't work for hymns, but it actually does work if you're willing to adapt what you're doing and just embrace what the guitar is trying to do. Instead of trying to fight it on the left leg, embrace it on the right leg. Write that down. See you next time.